I feel like I say this every month, but it's already time to start planning the following month. Maybe it has to do with getting older where time just feels like it's flying. If you're someone who loves to stay organized and on top of things, but love the feeling of actually writing down your to-do list, and you haven't already tried digital planning on your iPad, why not make May the month that you start? First things first, let's talk about why a digital planner on the iPad is a great option for planning. For starters, it's portable and can be taken with you wherever you go. No more bulky planners that take up space in your bag or your backpack. Plus, it's environmentally friendly since you won't need to constantly buy new paper planners that end up in the landfill if you're unable to recycle them. Personally, I find it really nice being able to go more minimal with my setup by just having my iPad, Apple Pencil, and a few good accessories like the Magic Keyboard, a paper-like screen protector, and a pencil grip. Using a digital planner on the iPad allows you to have all of your plans and tasks in one place, making it easier to stay organized and on top of things. You can easily add tasks, set reminders, and check off completed tasks with just a few taps on your iPad. And with apps like GoodNotes, I can sync between my iPad, my iPhone, and my Mac, so my to-do list and plans are always with me. So what are some things you can plan for in May 2023? Let's start with holidays. Memorial Day is coming up, so you might want to plan a weekend getaway or some fun activities with friends and family. You can easily create a holiday section in your digital planner and jot down all the details if needed, or scribble out a simple reminder about the upcoming holiday. Living near the coast, I think making note of when Memorial Day is a good idea for my husband and I due to traffic or crowds when it comes to planning out possible activities. Now, it's been out for a good while, but I still get questions about Scribble. A lot of people do not like their handwriting on the iPad, which is understandable. If you enable Scribble under Settings, Apple Pencil, you'll be able to use the Apple Pencil to write and convert to text. You can do this for writing in your digital planner. Just be sure to choose a font, color, and a size that you like, and press the heart to save it as a default font in GoodNotes. But of course, you can use Scribble system-wide on the iPad, so using it to search for Safari, an example, or in places like the Files app. You can use Scribble just about anywhere that offers a text field on the iPad. Now, in addition to holidays, May is also a great time to plan for summer activities. Whether you're planning a trip to the beach, a road trip, or attending a music festival, you can create a separate section in your planner just for summer planning. Cyberry has the hidden monthly calendar features, which is great for separating and organizing events or life categories like summer activities from your appointments and bills, or your schedule from your partners. Since graduating back in 2021, I like to have everything on one monthly page. So for personal activities or projects that we have going on that have no real due date, I like to use the widget stickers from the pastel planning widget set from the shop. For this month, I really want to focus on refreshing the flower beds in the front of our home and also building garden beds for the backyard for fruits and vegetable planting. Now, I love adding my appointments, my content schedule, and things like that by using simple pastel highlighter colors as well. I have icons in the content creation icons and labels sticker set, but I also recently launched the Essential Icons pack, which just has a ton of more icons for essentially anything that you might need. Now let's talk about work or school. Whether you're a student or a working professional, May can be a very busy time. You might have final exams, end of the year projects, or deadlines to meet, things like prom or end of school year bashes, last day of class or school, graduations. A digital planner on the iPad is perfect for keeping track of these important dates and tasks. You can even split screen and set reminders for when assignments are due or when you need to study for exams. Or if you have an upcoming special event like graduation. Even though I am a graduate, I do have prom to add to my calendar for May. My younger sister's prom is coming up, and I'll be stepping in to photograph her for that event. Finally, let's talk about personal goals. May is a great time to start thinking about what you want to achieve in the coming months. Maybe you want to start a new hobby, read more books, or learn a new skill. Whatever it is, your digital planner can help you stay accountable and on track. You can set goals for yourself and track your progress using your planner. Cyberry Digital Planner has a built-in section for goal planning and tracking, so you can keep track of your progress from month to month. My personal goals tend to be the same every month. I want to make sure that I'm listening to my body, moving it when it needs to be moved, and feeding it well when it needs to be nourished. And of course, practicing that same self-care for my mind as well. Whenever something doesn't work for me anymore or I need to switch something up, I just do it. Digital planning has made that possible for me. I'm not confined to specific templates, stickers, or colors. I can switch it up when I want. Now, I love the vertical and horizontal weekly pages that are offered in Cyberry, but I wanted to switch it up and explore other layouts that might work well for me for May. Cyberry does have a built-in custom weekly page option, so I can easily paste a layout that I love on this respective custom weekly page, and then still have access to everything I need that's within Cyberry. Now, there are a lot of different ways you can create a template for your digital planner on the iPad. You can use apps like Canva or Affinity Design, Procreate, Affinity Publisher even, Apple Pages, or Keynote. I think the easiest way for creating a template entirely from scratch is either with Keynote or Procreate personally. So I'll just stick with Keynote for this tutorial since I am using my iPad for this, but you can apply the same techniques in any app of your choice. So this is what my Keynote currently looks like. And what I'm going to do is just click Create a New Presentation. I'm going to click Choose a Theme. And I'm just going to go with your basic white here. And we'll edit to remove these. So they've moved a lot of things around in Keynote since I've last used it and shown tutorials of Keynote. So to change the document size, you used to come over here to the three dots. And then you would come down to like document setup or something like that, or settings, things like that. But those are not in Keynote. They've been moved around. You click over here under presentation and then presentation options. And then you'll see setup, type, soundtrack. You can set a password for it. I'm going to click presentation setup. And here you can choose again from the themes if you wanted to change your theme while you were working. Over here, you'll click slide size. And this is where you can change the size of the slide. I'm going to click custom and I'm just going to change the width to 1200 and I'm going to leave the height the same, and then I'm going to click done and then done up here. That way I have about the same size page as I do in my Cyberry planner. So let's go ahead and move over to the custom weekly page. This is where my custom weekly will go. And if it's not a perfect fit, then we can always crop it later to fit our custom weekly page. So I'm going to come back into Keynote, and then I'm going to start going and creating my weekly template. So it's going to be pretty simple since it's going to be a simple weekly, and I do want it to match the aesthetic of Cyberry as well. The font that I used throughout Cyberry is a font called Enter, and so that's what I'm going to use for my planner. So I'm going to come over here to my Shapes tool. This is where the text is located. So I'll go to my Shapes, I'll click Text, and then I can adjust the text how I want. So this week represents April 30th through May 6th. So I'm just going to call this April 30th. through May 6th. And to adjust the settings of the font and the text that we selected, you're going to come up here to your paintbrush icon. And here's where you can adjust the properties of the text. So I'm going to click font, and then I'm going to search for enter, and here is enter here. For some fonts, they have different font weights or styles, and you'll see that here with the little eye or information icon. If I click this, then I can go in and choose the weight or the style for this specific font. Enter has a lot, which I really like. So I think I'll go with maybe light. And I'll back out of here, adjust the size here. So we'll go with 16. I'm going to click the three dots here, and I'm actually going to choose all caps because I want this to be in all caps. And then I'm going to adjust the text to be left align, and we'll move that up here in the corner. Next, I want to go in and create the weekly boxes as well as create a priorities and a to-do list. So for that, I'm going to go into our table tool here. So this is this icon here in the toolbar. And I'm just going to start off with a very basic table, and we're just going to go with one column. So I'm going to select these columns here to delete them. And then I'm going to click this icon down here and increase the amount of rows since I'll need 7 for the week. And what I can do is I can click the properties icon tool here, and this is where I can adjust the borders. So again, the paintbrush to adjust the properties of whatever element is selected, and then we're going to come down to cell border, and that way I can adjust the border. I'm going to select the top border just for now, and I'm going to go with the standard 1 point here. We'll do a solid line, see how that looks. I might change the color of this, so I'll select the top border. I'll go into a color, and I'll probably just choose a dark gray. Might go even lighter. Click this, paintbrush, cell border. I want to adjust just the very top of the cell. And then I can go in and adjust the color or the line type or the width. So I'm going to leave it at that. Now I'm going to do the same for the very bottom border. I do want a border, and it did save my previous style. So we have that in place, and then I want to adjust the inner lines. So I'm going to select the inner lines here, and then we'll do a solid line, and we'll have it be this color. So now I have my table in place, and then I'll just adjust that as necessary, like how I want. I might decrease the font size a little more on this guy. Now that we have that in place, I'm going to copy this font or this text. I'm going to hit paste, and then I'm just going to change this to the days of the week. So we'll do Monday, and I might change the styling just a bit to add some hierarchy to my document. I'll come over here to my paintbrush for my properties again, click enter, and I want to access some of those different weights. So I'm going to go in here, and we'll go with medium for this guy. And then I'll decrease the size a bit. And for this one, I'm going to do center alignment. And we'll just move this guy over there. Might make him a bit smaller. Okay, so now I'll copy this because this is the text that I want to use. And then I'll select multiple here, copy, paste. And then one last copy and paste for this guy. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pencil and select all the objects. I accidentally selected the table, so I'm just going to tap that to deselect it. I'm going to come over here to my properties and click arrange. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure everything is aligned and distributed evenly. So I'm going to make sure everything is aligned to the left. And I also want to make sure that everything is distributed along the vertical axis. So I'm going to select this to make sure everything is properly aligned and even. So now I can just go in and change these to Tuesday and Wednesday and so on. And that way when I add my template to my digital planner, I can go in with text or my own handwriting and just do the dates. Next, I want to go in and add kind of like to-do lists for this section over here. So I'm going to just copy this text, And we'll call this my priorities. And we'll make this left aligned. I'm going to copy and paste this table over here, and I can adjust it to have kind of a little cheat sheet for my lines here. So I'm going to add another column here. I'll add 3 columns here, and what I'm actually going to do, so I'm going to select everything, go to my properties, go to my borders. For the interior, I'm going to switch the line type. That way there is some kind of hierarchy there. What I'm going to do for this row is I'm actually going to select it, come to my properties, select all the borders, and then I'm going to click none. That way I can kind of have a small break in the lines here. And then when I adjust this side here, so I'll select this column and adjust the size of this row here. And these will be my little checklist boxes here. Then I'm going to come over here to this row and adjust this. So there's a break in the lines here. And there I have my checklist. I might increase the width a bit here. And then what I can do for my very top, since there's still a break here, but I don't want a break here, I'll just select that row, and then I can go back to my borders, select my top border, and then I can select to make sure that we have that line type there. I can even select that specific cell, go to my cell border here and adjust it to make sure it's a solid line across the top. And I can do the same here for the bottom. So it's one solid row across the bottom. That way I can have a little checklist here of lines, so my little check boxes, and where I want to write my priorities. So that's how I'm going to style my checklist for the priority section. What I'm going to do is tap and click select objects, select with my Apple Pencil and hit copy. And then I'm just going to paste this to have a little to-do list down here as well. We'll add some space there. We'll add a bit more space between the two checklists. And we'll call this to-do list. I'm going to bring my to-do list down. I'm going to click this icon here and then just increase the amount of rows that I want. Okay, so there is my very simple weekly. I've lately really been liking the setup of having the weekly boxes on the side. So now that I have my weekly ready to go, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the presentation name. Here's where you can rename it if you would like. I'm going to click export, and then I'm going to click images. I'm going to select JPEG smaller file size because I don't necessarily need a transparent background for the design that I created. I'm going to click export and then save as an image. And then I can hop over into GoodNotes. I'm on my custom weekly page, click my images icon, and then click that from the toolbar. And then here is my weekly. So then I can just increase to get the size that I need. If I need to crop, I can just tap and hit crop. And then I can crop some of the white space and then resize and readjust as needed. Then I can go in with my pencil and start writing out the dates, or I can use the text. And that is how you can create custom templates for your digital planner, custom weekly templates, since Cyberry does offer a custom weekly option within the planner, or you can paste over templates on any of the templates that you might not use or are using to its potential within Cyberry. So of course, there are a lot of ways that you can use templates in your digital planner to solve any issues that you're having, or if you're ready to just switch it up and try something new. It's nice being able to try out different weekly layouts to see what works well for specific weeks, tasks, or projects. In conclusion, using a digital planner on the iPad is a great way to stay organized and on top of things, especially for monthly planning. Whether you're planning for holidays, summer activities, work or school, or personal goals, your digital planner can help you keep track of everything in one place on your iPad. So I'm wishing your month to be the most organized and productive month yet, or your most refreshing, relaxing month yet, whichever you need and are hoping for this month. That's it for today's video. I hope you found these tips helpful for planning the month inside of your digital planner on the iPad. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Every month I share my Plan With Me session, and there's always new tips, tricks, or stickers to share in each video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.